It's October 14th, 2021. I found this on the morning nonsense. It almost feels like there's some kind of structured settlement going on where they structurally settled me out of the equation where I wasn't able to participate, which is really frustrating.
Zoom out with her family so they too can focus on their future.
And I also do tell my parents saving is great, but we should also start
It says investing in the family, new venture arms, young Latinos with crucial financial knowledge. I find that interesting. My own children are not armed with financial knowledge. Neither was I.
maybe investing in the future.
Hearing stories like Jennifer makes my heart full.
And
We
then
only
there's
need the
active
tools and the
participation,
resources.
only pushing one
for
narrative.
everyone, for
It's
America
really
as a whole.
dangerous.
51% of the population growth is coming from Latinos. Latinos need to do well for America to do well.
It's a fun.
Who says and who made that rule up? That's not a law of nature. Physics is broken. The physique is broken. Who's making up these lies?
It's a financial future that's full of promise for generations.
X% should go to your savings. The rest is all for you. Enjoy.
For CBS Mornings, Lilia Luciano.
Really? So they have enough disposable income that that portion gets to go in a savings? I've never had that luxury. I mean, in fact, when I worked for Chase Insurance Agency, which on the statement says CIA, just incidentally, I only made $38,000 a year. That's 38,000. There was no $1 million bonuses. There was no big vacation funds. There was none of that. There was barely could pay food and the nanny's fee while she was watching my children while I had to go to the bank and work every day.
I know, Los Angeles.
So I don't know how they get these big
I love
jobs.
seeing stories like this and how financial literacy impacts positively the Latino community. I'm a living representation of that. And on today's CBS Mornings podcast, we will
Live in representative. That's an interesting term. Somebody might want to look into that.
talk with playwright Douglas Lyons about his new Broadway show, Chicken and Biscuits. The comedy follows a family reuniting at a funeral and the tension, laughter, and tears that follow.
This Chicken and Biscuits reuniting at a funeral kind of feels like what North America feels like at the moment in the year century 20 plus 2 decades plus 1 year.
That follow. We'll be right back.
You're watching CBS Mornings on CBS.
We're upcycling inexpensive online finds into chic home decor with Meredith Hagner.
Whole world's falling apart, but she's got chic decor and nobody cares.
And
It's coming back. We're here to help you fully recover. Connect to Care today.
This is a whole new visual of North America. I don't understand why it's being piped in.
The landscape has changed, and not
Right, why did the landscape change? And why wasn't anyone alerted in the local area?
for the last time.
Not for the better either.
The rules of business are being reinvented with a more flexible workforce by embracing.
It's a better life in a city that too often fit.
Oh, this is one of my favorites. Wait for this one, ready? There's a man that's gonna come on and he's like, my mom worked 3 jobs. I'm like thinking to myself, right, my mom worked her one because she's one person. She didn't take 2 jobs away from somebody else who needed a job for her, like, I don't know, selfish ass. But he's making it into his campaign. Like, she was a really great person because she stole 2 jobs from somebody else in the community.
Again, for
And he wants to run for
next.
mayor of New York City.
People who know BDO.
clean houses, work 3 jobs to give us a better life. In a city that too often fails families like ours. America.
Actually, I only see him thriving in the city lately. My city failed me for sure in my family. I really don't. I see a lot of him thriving and doing really well in discrete ways that nobody has any idea how.
Adams, we have to invest in early childhood education.
Oh my God, I don't want to hear what you're selling today, kiddo.
This is if you're like me, you're sitting at home going, Nate, you're Latino?
I'm a representation of financial literacy.
Right. Wouldn't want to piss off the real sponsor.
We'll see you
Uh-huh.
tomorrow. Take it easy.
Bye.
Coming. Murder and first-degree robbery. 18-year-old Bernard freshman Tessa Majors was stabbed in Morningside
She
park,
was murdered.
back on December of 2019. Her family will offer a victim's impact statement during today's hearing. A Rockland County high school had to quickly switch to remote learning for all students after mold was found in the building.
Now, I stopped by NYPD today, and spoke to my Tony Mason version of NYPD in full uniform. Kind of like my report, I'm reporting in some concerning notice from the neighborhood. So I was walking, there's a pizzeria locally. It's a pizza and sandwich shop for people who know things. And inside of it, it says 3.5% cash, something or other, and some legal jargon. Now, I said to the police officer this morning, NYPD 111th Precinct, I said, listen, I like the pizza that they make. I said, I don't want to get anybody necessarily in trouble. I was like, but I noticed the sign and it's not sitting well with me. I've also seen the symbolic sign of NYC being rebranded, and that's concerning because I see people on TV now that don't look like they belong with the same symbols on white coats trying to sell everybody vaccines and mandates and things, which is really dangerous. I was like, and then I'm like, I know the US guys, right? Like, they're real sticklers when somebody wants to collect money and not pay taxes or not be honest about things. So I was like, I'm just doing my best to report to you. I was like, because I don't know if it's NYPD related or if it's FDNY related. I was like, however, I did notice they're collecting a 3.5 something or other. I mean, again, pizza, one slice of pizza in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361 is $5.50. Why? And so, I said to the police officer, I said, and he goes, are you sure it's not a credit card fee? I go, no, that's a quiet fee between the merchant and the restaurant owner if they take credit and debit cards. I was like, that's a different system entirely. This specifically says 3.5 and something about cash, which leads me to believe there's, in order to do business in New York City, and have like clean laundered money, for instance, let's just go with whatever, there's some kind of shakedown fee of like 3.5%, like insurance, we'll call it, of some sort. I don't know. So I'm like, I don't really know who's collecting it, but like little things like that. I was like, I haven't noticed anybody else put a sign up either, by the way. I was like, but little things like that, like help fund takeovers of major cities in little discreet ways that then all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, wait a minute. I was like, so I'm just saying, if things are not looking, you need a lead as NYPD. You got somebody on your inside to look into something. I'm just saying it might be a good place to look is how they're funding themselves to do this takeover, like really dangerous new whatever. Might be a good place to look at that 3.5 cash exchange whatever for a simple slice of pizza that they tack on. I mean, I think there's a whole set of human laws that go with that, but I'm not really up to date with all the stuff the criminal organization's been working on. I just, whatever, thought I'd point it out. So I did. So I'm still hanging out in Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. I still have no income or job, even though I worked technically on the bank statement. It says at the bottom of the investment agency statement, it says Chase Insurance Agency. So at one time I worked there. That should have given me legitimacy to have a career. But even within that organization, it's a little confusing why I was hired at $38,000 a year, and there were so many others that have $1 million salaries and bonuses and things. I don't know what job function they served inside the company. I worked in a branch, just meeting the local and keeping an eye coptically on the clientele in several different areas. I worked in Comac, Dix Hills, Islandia, and Islandia. So I worked in 3 different branches. And at the moment, I am now currently working within same symbolic system on this piece with huge chunks that have been missing, it feels like, and rearranged, and that being not just this, I mean, it's at an angle, but if I put it up there, there's another landmass up over that way. So this just happens to be stuck against the wall in a position, a geospatial position, but it's not necessarily anything to do just with South America. I still have high amounts of radiative light coming in from, I mean, like, you can see how it's washed over the scene. And so I go out in that daily to check on the local neighborhood and then come back. It's, I mean, like, there should be some kind of pay for this, and it's a biohazard pay while everybody else is doing busy work. Like, I have no idea what humans do for a living. In that structured settlement that someone did, I was apparently structured out of it. So it's October 14th, I believe, and it's 2021.